afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. Danica Lewis in for Susan Simon this week. We have breaking news. Former Badger football player Quintus Cephas has been reinstated after being expelled nearly a year ago in light of allegations of sexual assault.
You may remember that earlier this month he was acquitted of those charges. Let's go right downtown where his lawyers are reacting to the university's decision this afternoon.
Been restored. I mean, do you know what your status is in terms of that?
No.
What was your reaction when you found out?
Extremely happy, and I was on a plane, so I was just in my seat bouncing around.
Did you anticipate you'd get a decision by today?
No, sir.
He said it was the longest flight he's ever had. He could not sit still. He was so happy.
Where were you flying to?
Well, I can help a little bit there. Friday, we decided he should go back home to Macon and visit with his family. There was some miscommunication between he and I about coming back on Sunday night or Monday morning. He was on the flight back, so there was some difficulty in getting a hold of him, and that's why we're having it now.
Because you've trained on your own. It's been a long time since you played in a game, took some hits. Did you anticipate you'd be able to help the team this year if you could play?
Yes, sir.
Expand on that a little bit.
I'm ready to win football games and start back getting my education, and I expect to do it at a very high level.
Quintus, tell us about your dreams in terms of academics and what you hope to do with your life moving forward.
Hopefully, I have a clear enough mind to get back to being on the academic Big Ten team and making good grades and performing on the field.
Why is it important for you to finish what you started here versus transferring to another institution and maybe getting a fresh start?
Because of my teammates and my coaches and them doing as much as they could to support me through this whole thing. So I have no reason to run from Wisconsin. I'm just here to continue my education and continue to play football.
Okay, we can only take one more question.
Sir, I spoke to actually the Rape Crisis Center because I noticed that Chancellor Blank made note about sexual assault victims, and I know that you were found, cleared of all of your charges. But what's your message to some of those victims of sexual assault? Do you have any words to them that are out there?
I'm not sure that it's fair to ask Quintus that. Quintus just went through a year in which he was falsely accused of sexual assault. Like everybody else here, Quintus feels very strongly about real victims of sexual assault. But, I just don't think that's an appropriate question for him.
I think it's appropriate when the Chancellor said it in the statement.
Well, then ask the Chancellor.
Ask the Chancellor.
Ask the Chancellor.
He's been innocent, and he spent a year of his life being badgered about things like this. Time to stop. He's an innocent man. Treat him like that.
What was the sanction for sexual harassment?
We can't discuss
it anymore. I just wanted to clarify that because it was mentioned in the statement.
So are there sanctions or aren't there?
No, he's all done.
He's done. Yes. He's done. He's going to be a student.
To finish, can I just say thank you to all of you and all of your work, and just thank you, and I hope the best for you, all of you guys. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Cephas and his lawyers addressing the media as the UW determined this morning that he can return to school. He will be reinstated and apparently is going to rejoin the football team.
It appears so, but just to clarify quickly, the statements that the reporters were referring to from Chancellor Blank refer to those in our community who have experienced sexual assaults. This is according to her statement today. I sincerely hope that there is nothing in this case that will deter you from coming forward for support. So that is what they were responding to this afternoon as well. Just to clarify that point, that was Quintus Cephas's lawyers right there.
So he's going back to school, back to the football team.
That's what it seems like.
Head to the backyard now, where Dave Caulfield has a look at your first alert forecast. Dave?
Yeah, not too bad weather on this Monday. Plenty of sunshine and temperatures right around 80 degrees. A little bit of humidity in the air, but not too much. And a few clouds closer to the state line throughout the day. But overall, lots of sunshine. And we're looking at that sunshine on the WISC-TV Skycam in Madison. Temperatures are right at 80 degrees in Madison, 86, so quite a bit warmer in Mineral Point, 82, and 81 closer to Prairie du Chien and Boscobel. Dew points are right around 60 degrees, a little bit more humid south of Madison, where dew points are in the mid-50s across Monroe and Janesville, and a little bit less humid to the south. So the closer you are to a front that is just on the other side of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, the more humid you are, but not too bad this evening in Madison, with temperatures falling through the 70s into the mid-60s. Now let's take a look at your first alert traffic update. Taking a live look at Rimrock Road and the Beltline. Starting to see some slow go on the eastbound side. No major accidents or incidents to talk about in Dane County. We do have a stalled vehicle on Wisconsin 30 near US 51. That's causing a couple of delays, so keep that in mind. Here are your drive times. Verona Road eastbound to John Nolan, 8 minutes, so that's running a little bit slow with an average speed of around 30 miles per hour. Some other routes in and around Madison looking pretty good. Westbound Middleton to Sauk City on Highway 12, that's 16 minutes with an average speed of around 60 miles per hour. That is your first alert traffic update. We will talk more about a pretty quiet week ahead in your first alert forecast.
We need a quiet week.
Exactly.
All right,
We deserve
Dave,
it.
We'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you.
Dane County deputies are once again reminding people to lock up their cars and secure entrances to homes and garages as they investigate 3 reports of stolen vehicles. A 2017 BMW was stolen Saturday morning from Borchers Beach Road in Westport. It was allegedly driven out of an unlocked garage using a key fob left inside the car. Then this morning, a 2015 Lexus that was left unlocked in a driveway was stolen from Serican Road in Middleton, and a 2017 Kia Sportage was taken from an unlocked garage in North Colic Road in Springdale.
An officer responding to a report of a burglary attempt was attacked by a man with an edged weapon and fired his gun, killing the man in Caledonia. Caledonia police say that the officer suffered a serious head wound and was taken to a hospital. His injuries were described as survivable. The unidentified man shot by the officer died at the scene. Caledonia is about 20 miles south of Milwaukee. Homeowners and farmers are still experiencing water damage following the 2018 historic Dane County flood.
Today, county officials are sharing what they've been able to fix and what's still on that to-do list. Gabriela Buquera is live from Lake Monona with more on the next steps. Gabby?
Out here between Lake Monona and Lake Wabisa is where phase 1 of a 5-phase plan is going to take place. The whole purpose of it is to increase the water flow between the lakes. This is funded by an $18 million plan that was included in the 2019 budget to take steps to mitigate the impacts of future flooding events. It also includes purchasing 160 acres of land to reduce storm water runoff, purchasing additional sandbagging machines, a rescue boat, and weed cutters. Dane County Executive Joe Parisi says they're better equipped to handle the aftermath of a major rain event now.
We can't control the weather. We can't stop it from raining 15 inches in one event like it did last year. But we're doing everything we can to make sure that we can respond the best as possible.
Parisi says the county learned a lot from last year's flooding event and is confident they would be able to be successful in responding if another extensive rainfall comes. The sediment removal process is expected to begin this fall. I'll have more, including hearing from a farm owner about how it's affecting him tonight on News 3 Now at 5.
All right, Gabby, we'll see you then. Thank you for the live report.
For the second year in a row, data shows that Wisconsinites are living shorter lives, particularly African Americans across the state. Officials with the Wisconsin Policy Forum say more young people are dying from alcohol and opioids. A baby born in Wisconsin between 2015 and 2017 is expected to live 80 years. That's about 70 days less than babies born 2 years earlier.
The police officer involved in the death of an unarmed black man in New York's Staten Island lost his job today. The decision comes 5 years since the death of Eric Gardner sparked a national outcry. Mark Liverman has the latest.
Calling Eric Garner's death an irreversible tragedy, New York City's police commissioner fired the officer who put the 43-year-old into a banned chokehold.
It is clear that Daniel Pantaleo can no longer effectively serve as a New York City police officer.
Commissioner James O'Neill said he agreed with the judge's recommendation to fire Officer Pantaleo, but he said the tragedy was on both ends, starting with Garner's decision to resist arrest for allegedly selling loose cigarettes.
Every time I watch that video, I say to myself, as probably all of you do, to Mr. Garner, don't do it. Comply. To Officer Pantaleo, don't do it. But none of us can take back our decisions, most especially when they lead to the death of another human being.
A local grand jury and the Justice Department both declined to prosecute Pantaleo in the case, which became a turning point in the national movement against police brutality. Two of Garner's children joined activist Al Sharpton in welcoming O'Neill's decision.
I truly, sincerely thank you for firing the officer. Regardless to however you came up to your decision, you finally made a decision that should have been made 5 years ago.
The furious president of New York's police union accused the commissioner of playing politics.
The leadership has abandoned ship and left our police officers on the street alone.
But Commissioner O'Neill, calling it an extremely hard decision, said he hopes it brings not just a reckoning, but also a reconciliation. Mark Liverman, CBS News, New York.
And the Gardner family says it'll continue fighting for a law in their father's name, making chokeholds illegal in New York State.
We are headed to the movies with our Will Loper when Live at 4 continues.
We'll find out what he thinks of the new R-rated comedy, Good Boys. Stay with us.
At Harvard.
Well, apparently only one thing can make you happier than having children.
Yeah, apparently that is being an empty nester. A new study at Heidelberg University found parents tend to be happier in older age than those without children, I should say, but only if their children have moved out. So researchers say it's because of the stress of balancing childcare and work. It's replaced with a form of social support, something they say is crucial to happiness as we all get older. So have kids, but make sure they're out of the house when they're supposed to be.
It's like a boat. The two best days in a boat owner's life: the day they buy it and the day they sell it.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Same thing.
All right, so thousands of parents all over the country are taking a pledge to wait before giving their child a smartphone.
Parents are signing the Wait Until 8th pledge, committing to wait until the 8th grade to give their child a smartphone. Studies have shown too much screen time can lead to lower test scores and hurt the development of memory and language skills. The pledge only covers smartphones. Parents who still want an easy way to get in touch with their child can purchase older model flip phones, and most carriers offer a plan without data. There are also devices like the Gizmo Watch. It provides location tracking and allows kids to receive calls from pre-approved phone numbers. Easing trade fears had investors on Wall Street in a buying mode. The Dow Industrials added 249 points, closing at 26,135. The Nasdaq gained 106 points, and the S&P 500 was up almost 35.
I'm having a party tomorrow. You in? Yeah. Can Thor and Lucas come? They're so random. They're my best friends. We do everything together. There's gonna be girls at the party. You know what that means? Drama. No. Kissing. You do not want to go to Soren's party not knowing how to kiss. We could spy on my neighbor. She's a total nymphomaniac. She starts fires.
This is what happens when you don't respect women.
I respect women. My mom's my best friend.
What about me? But that's gonna kill me. Chill.
That was a clip from Good Boys, one of the newest movies to hit theaters. Is it worth seeing? Here to let us know, our film critic, Will Loper. Hi, Will.
Hi, Mark.
Good Boys?
Good Boys, good movie, yes.
Really?
Yeah, it manages to capture, the feeling of being a 12-year-old growing up and finding your place in the world. And it's a hilarious ride along the way. Just be warned, this movie is very R-rated. So Jacob Tremblay, star of Room and Wonder, plays Max, who along with his two buddies, Thor and Lucas, have been invited to a kissing party and must spend the movie trying to learn how to kiss. And also get Max's dad's drone back so they can go to the party, with all sorts of crazy and funny hijinks happening along the way. This film is a story of those tween years where you're starting to get older and you're learning all kinds of new and scary things. And also where you pretend to know adult stuff in front of your friends, but you really don't. For example, at one point, a group of boys gets their hands on a beer and they each take a tiny, tiny sip, one of them claiming, "Oh yeah, I'm totally feeling it already." Now, the movie does rely on a lot of swearing and other adult content for its humor when, it doesn't really need to, but apparently the screenwriters thought kids swearing nonstop is the funniest thing ever. Despite that, the movie is laugh-out-loud funny and also manages to have some heart as we see the bond grow and mature between these three friends over the course of the movie.
On the surface, it looks innocent.
It is innocent for sure, and that's sort of the appeal of this movie is there's these three naive, innocent boys who sort of are growing up, and sometimes you do that thing where you're swearing and you're like, I'm so adult right now, and I'm so cool because I can use these naughty words.
So it's not for kids. It's R-rated.
Do not bring your kids to this movie. It's extremely R-rated, yeah.
All right.
Very raunchy.
Speaking of ratings, what's your rating?
I give this one 3.8. Keith L. Williams out of 5. He plays Lucas in the movie, and he's got this high-pitched squeal and scream, and every time he does it, the whole theater is laughing. So
good R-rated fun.
Good R-rated fun. Go and see it, yeah.
Number one at the box office.
It outperformed expectations, so that was something.
All right, next week.
Next week, we've got Ready or Not. It's a game of hide and seek that turns deadly.
And a little different.
A little bit.
A little bit different. All right. Thank you, Will.
Thanks, Mark.
We'll see you next week, and we'll be right back. Take a look at this. Watch this new military recruit cut his hair for the first time in 15 years. Ronaldo Araujo just enlisted with the U.S. Army, which, as you know, has a strict hair standards. So, to mark the occasion, Araujo went to the shears for the big chop. The 23-year-old plans to donate the hair to Locks of Love. That's a nonprofit that makes wigs for cancer patients experiencing hair loss. Araujo says he's excited about enlisting, and now he looks the part.
Holy smokes.
Bit of a difference there.
That is longer than my hair has ever been. Ever.
15 years.
Since he was 8.
Wow.
If I can do some math there.
Yeah, that's quite the haircut.
Good for him for donating the hair.
Yeah, that's really cool. So a couple of kayakers are lucky they did not get hurt.
Yeah, check this out. Andrew and Josh were kayaking in front of a glacier and collapsed at Spencer Glacier in Alaska. The video captured the moment of a series of ice structures collapsing, creating a huge wave that sent the two fleeing. Oh my goodness, that is
terrifying.
Quite something.
I'm surprised the water went that far.
Right.
I mean, have you been to SeaWorld?
I was about to say, it's like a water park. That's exactly what it reminded me of. And then they're like, oh, I'm getting out of here.
They're okay. That's good.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, a little more melting around here.
Yeah.
If there were any glaciers.
Yeah, pretty typical summer day today. As we head into tomorrow, we still have some humidity with us, and then pleasant weather returning for the middle of this week. We'll talk about that and much more in your First Alert forecast in just a few glaciers.
Well, earlier in this hour, we heard from Quinta Cephas and his lawyers after being reinstated to the University of Wisconsin.
We wanted to turn it over to Amanda Quintana, who was there at that press conference. And Amanda, we just wanted to catch back up with you. Can you kind of tell us what happened during that press conference and why?
Yes, well, they called this news conference today basically to celebrate, to say thank you to all of the supporters that have supported Quintez over the last year. They said it's been a really, really hard year for him. Exactly a year ago today is when he explained to his teammates that he was leaving the team because he was facing those 2 felony charges.
So do we know yet if he's returning to the football team, Amanda?
Yes, well, he says he's very excited to return to the football team. Some reporters here asked him, what's the next step? What needs to be done for him to be on the field with his teammates? And he didn't really know the answer to that, but he did say he spoke to Coach Paul Chryst, and he was very excited for him to come back to the team. He said he talked to him on the phone, and he said he's ready for him to come back to the team. Paul Chryst has told us that he's ready to welcome him back, so it's kind of just waiting to see what that next step needs to be for him to actually play with the team.
And Amanda, one more question, especially for those who did catch the tail end of this press conference. There were some heated moments between some of the reporters and the lawyers there, kind of going back to a statement today from Chancellor Blank about making sure that survivors of sexual assaults do feel heard, that they feel comfortable with opening up. Can you explain a little bit about the lawyer's reaction and kind of the point that they wanted to make in that regard?
Yes, well, Danica, as you mentioned, Chancellor Blank, it was the last sentence in her statement, and she said that she hopes that sexual assault victims on the campus don't take this case and think that they shouldn't come forward. She hopes that this doesn't mean, it's not even worth coming forward. So she wants to make sure that the campus is still an environment that supports people, supports women that come forward and say when something terrible happens to them, they will support them. So the question that was asked was about that and how Quintez feels about that statement, Becky Blank including that statement, and how he feels about victims of sexual assault. And his lawyer stepped in saying that was an inappropriate question because he'd been questioned about that for the last year and he was found not guilty. She didn't think he needed to answer that question because he's been innocent this whole time.
A lot of voices want to be heard on all of this.
Absolutely.
Amanda, thank you for that live report. We'll see you at 5 o'clock.
Let's turn it over now to Dave Caulfield. He has a look at a pretty nice week ahead, right, Dave?
Yeah, pretty quiet overall across southern Wisconsin. The exception could be tomorrow, where a few showers and thunderstorms are possible. We'll be a little bit on the humid side as well, but pleasant weather visits us for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to close out this work week. A few clouds to the south of Madison throughout the day, but really more sunshine than anything else. Doppler track has been quiet except for the last hour or so as some showers and storms have formed south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. I don't think we need to worry about these thunderstorms moving into southern Wisconsin tonight. However, tomorrow, a few showers and storms can't be ruled out, especially close to that state line, but pretty quiet across Doppler track for much of Wisconsin. So rain chances remain pretty low throughout the rest of Monday into Tuesday afternoon. We may need to bring that umbrella briefly after 4 p.m., but then those rain chances staying pretty low and basically non-existent as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which is way different than what we were experiencing last year at this time. We are about a day ahead of the anniversary of the historic rainfall last year, August 20th of 2018. Everyone knows the Cross Plains amount, close to 15 inches of rain reported, and Middleton picking up about 13.5 inches of rain, and at the airport in Madison, about 4 inches of rain falling, just crazy rain amounts. And that was part of a very, very wet August 2018. So by August 19th, we had 30.15 inches of rain last year, but you add about 10 inches of rain in just the month of August alone, and it created the wettest year in modern times, the wettest year in more than a century in Madison last year. Interesting to note, August 19th of this year, so as of today, we're at 29.23 inches of rain. So that's only about an inch off of the pace last year, but really after tomorrow, after the 20th, is when those rain totals really started to take off. No rain today in Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. Plenty of sunshine. In fact, today's high 81 degrees, which is a little bit above normal for this time of year, but pretty typical summer day across southern Wisconsin. Right now, those temperatures at 80 degrees even in Madison, 86 in Mineral Point, 79 in Monroe, and 81 in Janesville. Dew points are in the lower to middle 60s across much of southern Wisconsin. As you move north of Madison, we're a little bit more comfortable outside. That humidity stays with us tomorrow, but then look at the pleasant weather on the way, a little bit below normal for the middle and end of this week. And we're staying in the upper 70s and low 80s for the foreseeable future. We're in the low 60s for tonight, mostly clear and comfortable outside as we head into tomorrow. A little bit of humidity with us. Slight shower chances as well, partly sunny with temperatures right around 80 degrees. So future track is showing maybe a round of showers and storms early in the morning tomorrow, south and west of Madison. So have that umbrella ready to go at times on Tuesday. Most likely we won't really need it because we're just not seeing a lot of indications of strong chances for showers and storms. Just a slight chance of rain in that forecast. So I'll be ready with that umbrella, but again, we probably won't need it. The rest of the 10-day forecast showing the 70s for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with plenty of sunshine. And on Saturday as well, a little bit warmer to start next week with some chances of rain for Sunday and Monday. But then pleasant weather returning once again for the middle of next week.
Looks good. Time to get the car washed, I guess.
There you go.
All right, Dave, thank you. It is time for Potentially Yours here on Live at 4.
Marissa DeGroot from the Dane County Humane Society is here to help little Cinnabon, sweet little Cinnabon, find a forever home. Marissa, how you doing?
Good, good.
How's this little guy doing here?
Guy or girl?
Guy,
Okay.
and he is so chill. Cinnabon here is a young adult kind of dwarf rabbit mix, and what you're seeing right now is just kind of what his personality is like all the time.
Look at him.
Yeah.
You had a rabbit growing up.
I did, but she was a little more rambunctious, I think, than Cinnabon
But
is.
a good pet.
Yeah, I think so. What do you think, Marissa? What kind of family should be looking into a pet like this?
You know, I think he would do well in a lot of different households, but bunnies can be a little bit of work. For small critters, you do want to take into consideration, first and foremost, that they're going to be a friend for a long time. They can live 8 to 10 years, maybe even up to 12, and him being a young adult, he'll be a friend for a good long time. And you want to make sure they're getting lots of exercise time, a good healthy diet, and they're very smart, and he'll probably want some room to run around and play, but he is litter box trained, so that's very good.
That is great.
They are not a starter pet. This is not like a goldfish.
Nope, but if you are ready to bring a bunny into your family, we have so many resources for you to be able to give them the best life possible, and that's what we're hoping for this guy. He came from another overcrowded shelter in Wisconsin where he came in a little bit of rough shape. You'll see some little nick marks in his ears, and his coat was a little bit not as healthy as it is now.
I love his face.
Yeah,
he's so cute.
He's so sweet, and this is the first time, by the way, he's been remotely curious. He's been pretty chill.
Yes.
Want to remind people that last week's pet still available?
Yeah, last week's pet, we had Tabitha, and she still is available. She's over at our main shelter, and you can meet her there.
She's a big girl. And the thrift shop is open.
Yep, our thrift shop is open, so with the move-in, move-out times going on now, be sure to check that out over at Grand Canyon Avenue. Lots of great things. If you're moving in looking for that dishware, or if you've got some donations, all that goes to benefit animals at the Humane Society.
And it's not just animal stuff, it's people stuff too.
Yep, it's a little bit of everything over there. So you can head over to the thrift shop over on Grand Canyon, and you can head over to Mounds Pet Food Warehouse in Fitchburg, where Cinnabon is going to be.
All right, let's get her home. She is a good little girl.
Yeah.
All right, Marissa,
Thank you.
Go to the website, giveshelter.org, for information on Cinnabon and all the critters available. 838-0413. Marissa, thank you.
As sweet as he sounds right there. All right, still to come at 4. Can a pediatrician refuse to treat a child if they're not vaccinated?
Good question. That's a debate now being raised across the country. We'll find out what's sparking it when Live at 4 continues.
I love
Nice clear skies downtown. Looking out at the Capitol from the Edgewater Skycam. It's been a really nice day so far, and Dave is calling for a nice week as well. So make sure to find some time, maybe a lunch to get outside. Schedule it in. With the vaccination debate continuing around the country, parents and those in the medical world are questioning whether pediatricians should accept patients who don't get recommended shots.
A new poll suggests many doctors could lose many of their vaccinated patients if they do. CBS's Dana Bacchus has more.
10-year-old Miley is getting the vaccine for HPV to protect against the human papillomavirus. Her mom, Kelly, makes sure all her children get their shots on schedule.
From day one, I never thought anything otherwise. They were going to be vaccinated, and that was that.
Children who see pediatrician Dr. Charles Goodman must get the required vaccines that protect against diseases such as measles, mumps, and rubella and whooping cough.
Healthy children who can receive vaccines must receive those vaccines, and they must do it on schedule. Otherwise, we will not have them as our patients.
A new national poll shows 4 in 10 parents say they are very or somewhat likely to take their child to a different doctor if the physician sees families who refuse all childhood vaccines. The University of Michigan poll is based on responses from more than 2,000 parents. It also found 3 in 10 parents say their child's primary care office should ask parents who refuse all vaccines to find another health provider. Dr. Goodman implemented his policy following the 2015 measles outbreak at Disneyland. After some initial backlash for his policy, Dr. Goodman says the new poll results are welcomed news.
It means to me that parents are getting the message. Parents are now understanding these vaccines are life-saving.
Especially with my daughter having an autoimmune disease now, it's even more important that, she's not around people who aren't vaccinated.
Kelly says it's a relief that her family is protected when they come to the doctor's office. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And doctors say parents should ask their child's primary care providers about their policies on unvaccinated children.
It is a fascinating debate.
It really is.
All right, still to come at 4, the school year is about to begin, and some students in Monticello may have a leg up.
That's because this month's top-notch teacher didn't let them fall into a summer slide. We'll meet her when Live at 4 continues.
At a
Good afternoon. Here is your Monday First Alert traffic update, taking a live look at the Beltline and Rimrock Road. Not too bad right now, just past Rimrock Road, we are seeing that normal slow go on the eastbound side. Want to make you aware of an accident on I-39 southbound, exit 177, that's Wisconsin 11. That is causing some delays south of Janesville. Moving closer to the Beltline, we still do have that stalled vehicle on Wisconsin 30, and now on Washington Avenue northbound, lane blocked at Continental Lane. That is causing some backups right now. And we're seeing those normal backups on the Beltline, average speeds of around 15 to 25 miles per hour eastbound, and also noticing a little bit of slow go on Verona Road and Stoughton Road. Your drive times, 22 minutes right now, eastbound University Ave to the interstate, with an average speed of around 40 miles per hour. And that is your First Alert traffic update.
All right, Dave, thank you. The mayor of Kohlenberg, Germany has a very personal stake in her community. The town has been without a practicing doctor since the mid-1990s, and now Mayor Josepha Schmidt is offering a little extra incentive to potential practitioners. Herself. An ad for the position published in the Journal of German Physicians included this blurb, insider tip, the mayor is still unmarried.
Nice.
Local media is reporting more respondents have shown interest in the mayor than the job, but Schmidt says the priority is finding a qualified doctor, single or not.
It's clever.
It is clever.
Get some attention. So speaking of getting attention, we love to do spotlight stories on people who do great things in our community.
And tonight at 6, we have such a story like that, but Jamie Perez is joining us now with a little preview. Jamie?
Well, this is a perfect story for the end of summer. If your kids are interested in science or math, there is a really fun summer opportunity for you happening next week. It's all thanks to this 13-year-old prodigy in Sun Prairie who's hosting a STEM camp. Sarah Gay is the youngest student at UW-Madison. She's been taking college classes since she was 9 years old. She's majoring in astrophysics and wants to share her knowledge and love of learning with others by providing this camp opportunity for other kids before summer ends. Now, like we mentioned, the story is coming up tonight at 6. We will meet Sarah. We'll learn what this camp is all about, how this all got started, plus the extensive list of things that she's involved in at just 13 years old. Trust me, you do not want to miss the story on this young prodigy that we have in our own community.
13?
13, yes.
Astrophysicist?
Astrophysicist. She's been studying since she was 9 years old at the UW-Madison.
It's like looking in a mirror.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just funhouse
a few
mirror.
years ahead of me. Yeah.
All right, Jamie, we'll see you at 6.
Holy smokes. All right. So as Jamie mentioned, we're not far from the start of that new school year, but there's a teacher in Monticello who's already been back in the classroom for the last month.
The reason to make sure her students keep moving forward. News 3 Now Charlotte DeLeste introduces us to our August top-notch teacher.
First question. It's okay during the summer. You need a break.
But for Ann Denner, she doesn't really need or want all that time off.
I've already gone school shopping a few times. I used to make myself wait till August 1st. I could not buy anything till August 1st. Well, with Amazon, it's too. No.
Ann has been teaching for 27 years.
I love teaching. My family teases me because I don't go to work. I go to school.
All here at Monticello Public Schools.
I absolutely love second grade. Love it. I would love to stay in second grade for the rest of my... Please. All right, can we put the books back in J?
Ann purposely cut her summer break short to help incoming second graders avoid what's known as the summer slide. It's a decline in academic skills that typically happens over the summer.
Oh, but you dread it, but you know what you have to do, and you prepare for it. Now, we don't have to dread it as much because the slide's smaller or not even there at all. Next question. We got pizza or spaghetti?
So Ann's main focus this summer is on reading and tackling math, something she can relate to.
Because math was harder for me, but so I understand what it's like to struggle. So that's why when I work on math, I know what it's like, guys, not to get it right away.
But besides teaching, Ann's summer curriculum also includes this.
I've had some students that were very tentative. They're moving to a new teacher. They're not used to change. And this is a perfect way to get them comfortable. So it's just getting that connection so they're comfortable, because then they'll allow you in. When they allow you into kind of their lives, they allow you to teach them too. And then I'll be right back, okay?
For her, and school is starting very soon.
I know.
Some start this week, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. Where did summer go?
I don't know.
I'm sure parents are like, oh, right.
If you know a top-notch teacher, let Charlotte know, and we'll highlight them in the future.
Absolutely.
And we'll be right back with the final check your forecast.
Ready to roll playback?
And it's something good happening outside.
Yeah, temperatures are right around 80 degrees. It's a pretty pleasant summer evening outside. 80 in Madison, 81 in Lone Rock, quite a bit warmer in Mineral Point at 86. And 77 Viroqua, 79 in Monroe and the Dells. Madison, we're looking at mostly sunny skies on the WISC-TV Skycam. That dew point right at 60 degrees, so maybe a little bit sticky in spots, but could be a lot worse. We'll be a little bit more humid tomorrow, but for tonight, we'll be mostly clear and comfortable with temperatures falling to around 60 degrees. And as we head into tomorrow, temperatures starting off in the low 60s will be in the upper 70s by lunchtime. Temperatures will max out right around 80 degrees, and there's an outside chance of a shower and storm tomorrow. Shouldn't be anything too strong, and we're not worried about heavy rain totals. Anytime we talk about rain in August 20th, I think a lot of people do get a little bit nervous, but just a slight chance of a shower and storm, so have that umbrella ready to pop up if showers pop up, and then we are dry Wednesday onward.
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Thank you, Dave. And tomorrow here on Live at 4, Angie Horkin from the Beef Council has some great steak recipes.
I'm already hungry, and we go behind the wheel with Harvey Briggs and the all-new electric Kia Niro to see if it's an electric car for the masses. We'll be right back.
At Harker
All right, we take to the air for not just one, but two final touches today.
We begin in the skies over Belgium. 29 women have set a skydiving record in this breathtaking stunt. The ladies set the record when they formed two figures in the air. They managed this feat despite the group being relatively new. Once the figures were formed, the team leader immediately swings her legs. That's the signal to let go and open the parachutes. Pretty amazing.
Unbelievable. And the skies over Macedonia were filled with the World Paragliding Championships. There were 150 pilots from 48 different countries taking part in the competition. Pilots are required to perform various tasks each time.